You know what I'm saying? I
Brother
did go like,
Shaka,
oh, yeah.
let me say this before I go. You are
Yeah.
one of the most dangerous brothers in our community. Why? Because he has been listening for a long time, and when you say something, he's going to say, "Wait, but you said this on this day. Here's the video."
And he's going to have the
He is
documentation.
one of the most dangerous brothers in our community. And so I'm excited that you're here. I'm excited that Netter's audience now knows about you. He was talking to me about Shaka. I thought he was talking about Shaka almost for a second. Because Netter love him some Shaka Ma'at forever. So I'm just honored that now we have a more global. I know Rob Moore was kind of making a joke, but he was also making a comment. The reality is that this internet is going to allow Africans all over the world to connect on our interest, and that is powerful. That is powerful.
Yes.
I'm honored to be on. I promise I will communicate with you. I'm watching your shows ardently, Shaka. So whenever you would like me to come and chat with you privately or publicly, please let me know.
Yeah.
Okay?
I hope you're doing well. This is a live stream. Yes. Now the title is Seshew ni Medew Netcher. The riparianites are back. I'm gonna check the sound quality, so just bear with me, and I'm gonna share the stream. I'm not expecting anybody, to participate because it is I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can see it. 23 minutes past 12 lunchtime. So it means that it is 6 a.m. in New York. The majority of my listeners are in America. So let me just share this and then we're going to get this cracking, okay? To check the sound quality. Do that from my phone. Okay, I'm gonna have to speak louder because sound quality is not loud. I want to use my earpiece, but I don't know what's going on. Didn't work with the Bluetooth. Anyway, let's get this cracking. I might as well do the fair use disclaimer, so just in case, you never know. You never know. That in the chat. All right. Copyright disclaimer on the Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. All right. So yesterday we had a live stream on the Seshew's channel. So Jau's hiatus or vacancy, or however you want to call it, is over. He's back. So I just want to address a few things, you know what I'm saying? So let's get to the nitty-gritty. So here is the stream. It's called Orientation, Welcoming Newcomers to the Channel. Okay.
So, like I said, I'm gonna post the link in the chat, and everybody's welcome. You know, we, you know. Oh, it is one thing I want to share. What was it? It was the last thing. What did I just have it? I had it right here. Okay, I want to emphasize these things. So these are the things that we emphasize, and there's you know, I have very, very short patience when it comes to certain things. You know, I'm very, very, very patient. Matter of fact, people think I have too much patience. Like, I don't know if you all are familiar, whoever's familiar with me, when I get on make appearance on other people's channels, or people try to argue with me or whatever, a lot of people tell me I have too much patience, because I kind of, you know, I try to, you know, I mean, I'm me. I can't just help it. I can't help it. That's all I can say. I can't help it. But there are things that I lose patience over. Okay. And y'all have to understand the kind of person I am. I know a lot of y'all don't know me personally, but I'm very, very, very hard to make mad or get upset. So if I ever get that way, you would just know that it must be something real serious or whatever, because I'm just not built that way. But I do have no tolerance and no patience for certain things. And so I'm going to read these. So one thing we emphasize is good character. All right. Now all of us, you know, we have to be able to own up to our shortcomings, things that we're good at, things that we're not good at, and whatnot. So nobody's out here trying to think that they're high and mighty and perfect or above everybody, but we have to work towards good character. And that's something that I really, really, really hammer home. Good character. Okay. The integrity of character and accuracy. Okay. So, you know, the goal being objective truth and not your ego to win an argument or.
Okay. So there's one thing I forgot to say. The main reason why I'm doing a live stream rather than a pre-recorded video, it's because it's easier for me to share the links of the video that I would address in the chat. That will save the description section being, you know, filled with links. There's already a fair bit of links. So that being said, you heard Ujau say that one thing they emphasize is good character. Okay. Now you just heard him say, you know, it's not about being, you know, high and mighty or, you know, above other people, you know what I'm saying? And he mentioned, you know, people's behavior to win an argument. Oh, Viben is in the place to be. What's up, brother? How you doing? Now, I heard him, and you can ask him, Ujao. I heard him say that he never lost an argument. And I stated that before. So that alone lets you know what his mentality is, right? Now, when it comes to good character, right, he said one thing we emphasize. Now, when he said we, he means the Seshew, okay? You have that lady who at one point for sure, at one point, anyway, regardless. We have that lady, Emiket, right? I'm going to share the link. We're gonna see the good character. And I didn't lose sleep over it. I just addressed it then, So never mind the title, that was 2 years ago. But I was just responding to her behavior. So the title of the live stream is Dumb Cheerleader Groupie. Let me show you why I came up with that title. Because those people who emphasize good character, look at what she wrote. I have the screen captures. And you know what? I'm going to try to make it larger. There it is. You see the screen captures? This Seshew member, she wrote, "This man sitting in a baby crib and don't read issues he's arguing about." You remember when I told you about the sales tactics? She wrote, "Baby crib professor, I listened to you just now and your books and papers are wrong." And then she wrote, "Get out of the baby crib and read." So they emphasize good character, and she labeled me baby crib professor. And for the record, she was wrong by saying that I was sitting in a baby crib, but I addressed that in a video.
And by the way, for the record.
So that's just for the record, you know what I'm saying? So that being said, let's go back, because there's a few other things I want to address.
Think you won an argument, so much so that your ego blinds you so that you don't even know that you're wrong. And I've been in those situations. Y'all saw recent videos with me and another brother who in real time could not even recognize that they were wrong, and I'm showing them right in their face. And
now you just heard him. VB, I don't know if you're still there. How is my voice? How's the sound quality so far? Because I forgot I'm supposed to speak a bit louder. I'm in my car, all right? So Wujao just talked about somebody, he showed the person that he was wrong and the person would not admit it. Well, it's the exact same thing that happened with Wujao, live on air. I have him lying more than once. Now, lying is not making a mistake. Everybody can make a mistake. It happens. I made mistakes before, right? Who never made a mistake anyway, right? The line is when on purpose, you just not telling the truth. Willingly. You know that what you're saying is wrong, but you're still lying willingly, right? So there's the instance where he said that he denied saying that Cam, meaning black, is a hypothesis that it has not been demonstrated, right? And that's actually what you can hear if you listen to Smash Walkwell's not his latest live stream, but the one before last. He played that, right? So I actually went and found the clip where he actually said it, what he denied. And then when I played it, he tried to claim that, I'm playing things out of context. So I told him, okay, if I played it Thank you, VB, for telling me the sound is fine. I appreciate that. Thank you. And he added audio is good. So I told him, okay. Oh, Sheffrin is in the place to be. I think he's a former pseudo killers. Pseudo killers, that's a crew, that's a team. I think he's a former member of the pseudo killers. But he can correct me if he's still yeah, it's been a long time indeed. Yeah. You know. So I told Wujao, okay, if I played you out of context, then can you play it in context? You know, because it's amazing. I'm known for backing up and documenting, you know, what I'm saying, right? That's one reason why a lot of people don't like me, because I'm playing them, right? Even when I don't play people, I'm paraphrasing what they're saying or quoting them or citing them, right? But I'm not known for lying. When I started my website 20 years ago, how many people have you seen showing me lying? Right? So you have some people, you play them, and then they want to play the, oh, it's out of context card, right? So that was one example, okay? Now, the other example is when he came on my platform after I invited him, and I asked him what does he put in his census, you know? If he puts, you know, black or African American, what does he put in this? And first he said, oh, he hasn't filled the census in a long time, right? So I said, okay, right. You confirmed that you filled the census before. So what did you put? And then he changed and he said he never filled the census. And I've let him know. I've let him know. Look, you already, you know. But anyway, I'm going to play. I'm going to share. As a matter of fact, let me do it now, so you can hear it. But he lied live on air. Live on air. I'm going to share the link. So whoever wants to hear it, if they want to, they have the link. He lied live on air. Now, and you see the name of their group. Jeffrey wrote, he admitted Kemet means black last night. You know, before he said black is acceptable. I mean, you know, the things that I'm familiar with the Netcher, a few other people are, and they've been playing on the fact that some people don't know the Netcher, you see. But anyway, this is the link here. Wujao Irima adversus Shakandugu Kemet. You know, I put verses, you know, it's just a title, you know. I respect him for coming on my platform. We had a nice dialogue. I never called him names. I have no record. I don't remember using any profanity towards him, right? We disagree on some, you know, claim or argument or stance or scholarship, right? But there's a big issue with his behavior, the behavior of his team. Hey, but anyway, he lied live on air, right? Now, let's see if he has good character, if he would admit that he lied. You know, let's see if he will admit whenever he was wrong, you know. And it's just sad, you know. Ma'at, that's the root of ma'at. So it's not about being perfect. But if you have that name, if that's the name of your group, then at least try to hold on to that, right? Because if you have a name, then we can say it's your standard, right? If your standard is Isafet, is something else, right? Now, there's something else I want you to hear. And this time the timestamp will be (129:15).
Things like that. See, stuff like so what I was saying on the show yesterday was that, and I think I was talking to Garfield or the brother Unk at the time, and I was saying that darkness, there's an association of darkness with water, because when things get wet, they get dark. And I gave the example of the clouds. If it's daytime, yeah.
My bad.
Yeah, if it's a clear sunny day and all of a sudden it gets cloudy and then those clouds get dark, everybody and their mother will have the assumption that it's going to rain. So there's a psychological association among people in general with darkness associated with water. So the whole point of my argument is to go totally against the false argument that it was the skin color that inspired these Egyptians to name their country Kemet.
Now, right there, I'm tempted to say that he's being slick, right? But who knows? Maybe he has some people on record claiming that the country was named based on the skin color. But it sounds to me like he's playing games, right? Now, you heard him talk about water. There's another clip that I have. You can ask him if I'm lying. There is a glyph, the Newt glyph. That's the glyph that we see with the quote-unquote place name Kemet, right? Now, he stated that it has something to do with water. So for the record, before he came on my platform, I spoke to him also on Garfield Reed's platform. So here you have an excerpt, right? Don't mind the title. It's End of Pseudos. It's only so long fake ones can pretend. That's before he came on my platform, right? And that was probably the next day, but that was very shortly after I spoke with him on Smashwalker's platform, right? And I had to just remind, by quoting two scholars, two PhDs. Jeffrey is asking, what's your email? It's in the description of all my videos, but here it is. It's better to copy and paste it to avoid any mistakes, because there are 3 S's, but here it is. So let me just show you.
That we have James P. Allen in his book Middle Egyptian. He translates Henenit the Black. Henenit Kem as Henenit the Black. Now, regarding the 049 glyph, which is the determinative, the newt for in the word Kem and also in other words like Waset. I have this book here. It's an Egyptologist called Claude Obzomer. He's mentioned in the Oxford History of Ancient Egypt. And on page 237, he describes the 049 glyph as an inhabited place, compound, and streets. Okay, so nothing to do with water whatsoever. And then we have Gardiner in his Egyptian grammar. I think it's the 3rd revised edition, page 498. He describes the glyph 049 as an ideogram in Newt, and it's a village with crossroads. And I did say yesterday crossroads. So now if people have other definitions, it's on them, because what we have all heard yesterday is Ujahu talked for 3 hours, and for 3 hours he claimed that he would demonstrate that Kem is a title, but after the 3 hours, He just couldn't demonstrate that, you see.
So you heard that excerpt for the record. When I started playing with Jao, he said that one thing, and I'm paraphrasing that I forgot the exact word he used, you know, something like they strive to, but it was a different word. Is good character, right? And at one point he said accuracy. He used the word accuracy, right? So I haven't read all the scholars in the world. If there are some Egyptologists who said that the glyph, and I gave the reference 049, but let's say the nude glyph, that's the nude glyph for the record, that one here, right? If there are some that says it has something to do with water, let's see, right? Now, if it was several centuries ago, it was what it was. If it's recent, if it's from our time or quote unquote modern time, it will be interesting, right? Now, if he wants to deny that he said he has something to do with water, it will be annoying, but it is what it is. That's not the most important. However, you heard me said, and you will have the link also. Ujau said that Kem, after a name, is a title because he was denying he has anything to do with black, right? And indeed, he could not demonstrate that it deals with a title. So, or that it is a title. So where is the accuracy? Which Egyptologist said that it is a title? That's not accuracy. That's not accurate. Let's continue.
It wasn't. It was them talking about the accessibility to water and what that did for them is why and how they named their country. And this is why I advocate for everybody to adopt the word riparian instead of saying, see, the root of the problem is when the scholars started to say Kemet means black land, because that opened the door for people like the late and great Sheikh Anta Diop.
Now, mind you, it gets interesting here. You heard Ujau said that the root of the problem is when scholars started saying, and let's go back and hear it again.
Instead of saying, see, the root of the problem is when the scholars started to say Kemet means black land.
The root of the problem is when scholars started saying that Kemet means black land. That was yesterday. It is because of their claim, it is because of their book that they are getting so far away from the word black, which is an accurate translation of the gleam Kem, right? That's the Kem glyph. That's the root of Kemet, right? And not only the quote-unquote Medew Netcher or hieroglyphic, but indeed we do have the Coptic, the latest phase, the latest stage of the language, still spoken till this day by some community. The Coptic people, the Copt, they do speak, and you can ask them, you can see the meaning. Now, the word, anyway, I don't want to be too long. I don't want to be too long. Now, V. Bennett wrote, out of his mind, man just stubborn. I want to say he's out of his mind, but yes, he's stubborn. He has a right to be. Can he demonstrate that being the root of the problem? He said, I mean, that's amazing, but he said that yesterday. He said that yesterday, okay? So some people talk about, you know, historical linguistics. Some people talk about morphology. Some people talk about philology. Philology. right? They talk about linguistics. They talk about grammar. So basically, all the scholars who translate Kemet as the black land, right? They are wrong. But he's right. What's his credentials? Does he have credentials in the field? And this is what amazes me. He has the right to make any claims he wants. He's free. But it's still the same pattern, still the same behavior, still the same demeanor. And that's the same guy who says it's not about being high and mighty and feeling above people. You know, I'm paraphrasing, but I played him. And JTV is in the place to be our brother from England. Now, some people, if you don't play them, they will say that you are citing them wrong, that you are quoting them wrong. They will say that you are, misrepresenting their argument, right? So I'm playing him. I think it is weird and sad that, like you heard him say, the root of the problem is when scholars translated Kemet as the black land. What really bothers him is the root, or let's say the word, the translation black. And that's what it is. Before the English language, it was the meaning. The translation is accurate. But let's continue. We have a few other things, and then that's going to be it.
Because that opened the door for people like the late and great Sheikh Diop to take what those scholars said. The moment they said that, when they said that Kemet means black land, then Diop said, well, wait a minute. If y'all are saying that it means black land with this 049 determinative, if I switch that and put the people determinative right there, then it has to mean black people.
Now, is that good character to talk about Diop this way? Oh, if I switch that, Sheikh Anta Diop earned a PhD from one of the most prestigious university in France called Sorbonne. Chef wrote Demonstrate Shaka. Demonstrate what? I will share the link after if some people want to say a thing or two. Now, somebody did way worse. Asar Imhotep not only said that Diop was wrong, but that Diop was irresponsible as a scholar. And there's another term he used towards Diop. Bennett wrote, where did he read or hear Diop say that was his reasoning? Can he demonstrate that? Let's continue.
And that's the start of it all. Right?
And that actually leads me to my second question. Because
hold on, let me say this. So this is why it's important, and this is why this is the wisdom behind what I'm advocating. Me and Asar and Sanjeti, we've advocated for people to start saying the riparian country, because what a riparian is, it's 100% accurate and fitting for what Kemet represented to the ancient Egyptians. And
now, riparian country is 100% accurate. So the scholars who translate Kemet as a black land is the root of the problem. Diop going in that direction and quote unquote switching it, you heard him, right? That's the problem. But riparian country, 100% accurate. Okay.
And it helps to eliminate anybody coming with that silliness that the word Kemet means black people.
the silliness that the word Kemet means black people. Now, it reminds me earlier when he said, you know, some people, and I'm paraphrasing at this point, you know, some people arguing that it is because of the skin color that they named the country. I mean, where does he get that from? Who's arguing that? See, he trying to blame racism on Kemet, LOL. It's difficult to understand what he's trying to do, but it's very clear that he has a stance, and in order to defend his stance, and once again, that was yesterday, right? He said what the root of the problem was. The Egyptologists, the people who have a doctorate degree, the people who have a PhD in the field of Egyptology, right? As long as they translate as much, let's say as far as they translate Kemet as the black land is the root of the problem. Now, Smash Rockwell, and for those who may wonder, we're not on the best terms, even though he gave me a shout out a couple of days ago. But like I said, he has a few people going at him, so he does what he does. But he, and probably others as well, has shown, Smash Rockwell has shown Kemet, right? You have the root Kem. You probably don't have the phonetic complement of the owl, and then the bread loaf or loaf of bread. And if I'm not mistaken, I think you have the new glyph. And you have the determinative of the seated man and the seated woman. And you have the strokes, the plural strokes, or the three strokes. How do we pronounce it? If we have Kemet, if we have the Kem glyph, and we have the loaf of bread, don't we pronounce it Kemet? So it can get technical, right? But I understand the mentality of Ujau, who wants to brush off anything else. And you already heard him say that what the root of the problem is the scholars translating Kemet as a black land. Now, Sheffren answered Kemet. Well, that's how I will read it. That's how I will pronounce it. When we went through the French book by Pascal Vernus about Albribis, right? I saw the glyphs, right? And I read Kemet Uret, right? Now, there is the cow, or the bull, rather. There are the three strokes. Some people may say, "Oh, you must have read it. You must have read it, you know, cow or something like that, right?" Now, I read the glyphs. He did not put any transliteration. Okay. So, if we have the Kem glyph, the I6 glyph, and the loaf of bread, well, I will read that Kemet. But we have the determinative of the seated man and the seated woman, and the plural stroke, right? So, of course, I'm not claiming that this means black people, and I never have claimed that. But he said it's silly to say that Kemet means black people, right? Now, Asaim Hotep is on tape saying that Allah is in the Egyptian text. And I even asked Wijau about that. That or the other quote, Allah is an indigenous African god. Asaim Hotep said that Allah is an indigenous African god. That is not silly. Now, Asaim Hotep, when he talked about Dr. Obadele Kambon, who did an editorial book critic of the origin of the word amen. Sheffren wrote, I need that clip. Oh, you know what?
Allah, and this is where I would disagree with Brother Shaka, is actually in the Egyptian text. The god Allah is an indigenous African god. Then when you do a linguistic analysis,
It says your browser failed to play the clip. My battery went down so much. Hold on. Let me try again.
Allah, and this is where I would disagree with Brother Shaka, is actually in the Egyptian text. The god Allah is an indigenous African god. Then when you do a linguistic analysis, you understand that the Hebrew language is cognate with the Yoruba language.
Between a law in linguistics and a law, for example, physics, is that with a law.
Are you a physicist? Do you study physics, for example?
I do study physics and I study science. And so,
have you studied linguistics formally?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Not only that, but he hasn't done a reconstruction for Middle Egyptian.
I understand.
And I'm saying that is an incorrect and it is not a very good order of operations. So you're going to.
I don't see a reconstruction of Yoruba in your work or Akan.
How would I reconstruct Yoruba and it's spoken right now? How does that make any sense to you?
Because that's my point.
It's spoken right now. And what I did is I used IPA because Yoruba has its own orthographic system.
It's a convention for sounds. These are all symbols. That's the whole point of writing. They're just symbols to represent sounds. We understand that. The issue is that it's not attested in terms of a living. So
this is what I'm hearing as a lack of understanding. What you just said, you said I didn't reconstruct Yoruba. I wouldn't need to reconstruct.
Yeah,
I wouldn't need to reconstruct Akan. He doesn't need to reconstruct Somali. He also doesn't need to reconstruct Hausa. But what he does need to reconstruct is the one that I'm saying that he did not reconstruct.
Here's the question.
Please, just hold on 1 second because.
Hold on. I understand. Believe me, I understand what you're saying. I'm asking you this.
Then let me make this last point, please. Just let me make this last point. So you're saying that I didn't reconstruct a language that is attested right now. You don't reconstruct languages that are attested right now. You write them down.
Cambone is not in conversation with the authors of the text. It's not like he is trying to teach them how to improve. It's like he's at the overall tone of the text is like he's at a barbershop and he's just shooting the ish with some friends and on how he don't like so and so and how this text is bullshit, basically, right? It's
so you've heard. Now my battery is going to go down soon, so I'm going to have to use my mobile phone, right? But there's one more thing I want to share. He didn't only say that Allah is in the Egyptian text. He said that Allah is an indigenous African god. Now, you heard him talking about other stuff, right? Now, he also talked, right, about either a Bantu, I'm paraphrasing, but either a Bantu language of phylum or Niger-Congo language of phylum being closer to the Medew Netcher than the Coptic. Right? Or wrong? Now, didn't he say that the Sumerians were black? Didn't Asahimotep say that Sumerian is a Bantu or Niger-Congo language or something to that effect? Now, that is not all of those things. That is not silly. Now, You heard him talk about a PhD in linguistics called Dr. Obadele Campbell. He's from America. He relocated to Ghana. And you heard him say the overall tone of the text. Now the text, you have the link in the chat. Editorial book critique. Editorial book critic. The origin of the word amen. You have a DOI number, right? You have the link to the website. He has a doctorate degree, and that's the person that he was talking to. He asked, Dr. Obadiah Campbell asked Osai Imhotep, have you studied linguistics formally? What did Osai Imhotep answer? Yes. He answered yes, or yes, I have. But you have yes regardless. When did Osai, you have the date. Did he study linguistics formally then? Didn't he lie? But all of that is not silly. So he said the overall tone of the text is like he's at the barber shop and he's just shooting the ish with some friends on how he don't like so-and-so and how this text is bullshit. So that's good character. That's not silly. Because he refuted some false claims in that book. Now, how much time do I have now? Okay, let me share this clip. You see the title? Netaneb ends the argument of Osar and Uja by showing Kem with the color determinative. Netaneb is studying linguistics formally at the university. Okay? Let me play it.
Now, you know, Osam Mutab, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but if I understand you correctly, earlier you said that you don't totally rule out that the Kem might stand for black. Is that correct?
I was repeating Ujawu.
Okay, so now if I ask you, on the artifact that we have seen, do you rule out that it doesn't mean Kem, or like we translate in English, the black, regardless of what it might mean? Are you of the opinion that it stands for a title?
Yes.
You heard that? I asked Osai Imhotep if he's of the opinion that Kem stands for a title. Now, so it's not only Ujau, but Osai Imhotep also said that he is of that opinion. Make that make sense. Which Egyptologists say that Kem, after a name, and you have the link to the video. I share the links in the chat. Which Egyptologists said that it is a title, right? So is that accuracy? Is that good character? Is that ma'at? Is that truth, right? Ujau broke down the meaning, right? When you have ma'a, the root of ma'at, right? And he says true scribes or loyal scribes. Is that truth? Is that accuracy? Is that good character?
All right. So
unless you have some kind of historical precedent in which this would designate him as the black, and in contrast to who else? Who are the other folks who are not the black? Why is this person so special that he has to be labeled the black, but not everybody else is the black?
See, that's y'all looking at it wrong.
This is the
not
context
us.
and the question that you should be asking. Why is he randomly the black?
That's
and
you looking at it wrong.
Is not the black.
That's you looking at it wrong, not us. So when a person,
that's your personal stance here.
Yeah, that's your stance.
It's not
Go
a
ahead.
stance.
Let me say something.
Question.
Look, how about in the case of something we agree on?
But the thing is that if I understand you correctly, you're ruling out that it stands for the black.
I didn't rule out anything. I asked the question.
Okay. Well, my question is this: according to you, does the Kem stand for the black, as we say in English when we translate it, or does it stand for a title?
That's not even a logical question.
Yeah, no, but come on, don't start with that. Let's keep it.
That's the argument tonight.
No, listen to what he asked. Because you're trying to make this a or thing. Does it mean, because it could simultaneously mean black and still be a title. They're not opposing.
It ain't a title though. Y'all made that up. It ain't a title, but it ain't a title. Y'all made that up. Ujahu ain't pulled out no source, and you ain't got one either. Period.
And you ain't pull a source, that say that it's an
exactly.
adjective that's
It is.
Did you hear Ujahu? He said you ain't pulled a source that says it's an adjective. He's saying you ain't put a source that says a chem is an adjective. But anyway, let's finish with this.
Adjective. I did pull a source on that, and I'm gonna pull it again. I pulled a source on that. It was J.P. Allen. Stop lying.
Hold on.
I pulled a source on that. It was J.P. Allen.
An example with any of the color determinatives in his name.
Y'all wrong.
To designate.
I pulled a source, Asar.
You heard? You cannot pull, the color determinative. He's gonna repeat himself. And that's why you have that title. Netcher just ended the argument. Let's finish with this.
Listen to what I said. With any of the color designations, color determinatives that ends the argument. There are no color determinatives.
You see, with the color determinative that ends the argument, and I pulled up, I got on the platform to talk about this. Then he started talking about what he wrote in a book 8 years ago. Lame. I'm sorry, that's lame. That's not good character. But check this out.
It's not no color determinative when they talking about the black land. So you made that.
Now, let me show you Netcher ending the argument. It's the same video I just went forward.
Yes, here you go again. You remember they said it's no head determinative? You remember that?
Yeah.
They said it's no head. Watch this, yo. Watch this. Look at this. Watch this. You see there? We all.
Was that the set cam?
Huh?
You've changed.
Right here. You see set, Kimmy? This is the head determinative. See that? That means black woman.
I don't think we're watching the same thing.
It's at the top, mind you. I just didn't see it in the video, but it's at the top.
You see it? Kemet, Swartz.
Try to go up.
Go up.
The page.
See, set Kemet means the black woman. Swartz, Friel, it has the head determinative.
There it is. Game over.
Yeah, means the black.
Set Kemet, yes.
Which you want me to go up for?
Yes, there it is. Set Kemet, yes.
Yes, set Kemet. You see, set Kemet means the black woman. Swartz, Friel, it has the head determinative.
There it is. Game over.
Yeah.
And here you can see the head determinative. So I'm going to use my phone in case somebody want to say what's up. But it is just sad. Now, Osam Hotep also said that there were black Hebrews in Kemet. He's on tape saying that the Hebrews are black. That's not silly. I mean, dang. So in order to get away from black, they started talking about, oh, their hair is black, but their body is not black. Then they try to claim that Kem is a title. They were trying to claim that the Kem, meaning black, doesn't deal with the physical appearance. I mean, they are on tape. It's a horrible look. But anyway, I'm gonna use my phone. The root of the problem is scholars translating Kemet as a black land. Black is such a problem. Now, I have a video called Black Ancient Egyptians Part 1 and Black Ancient Egyptians Part 2. I have many other videos. For years, I've been going to museums. And I have shown, hold on. artifacts, paintings. Is it working? Yeah. Of ancient Egyptians being black. The interesting thing is that we heard a few Egyptologists, right? One of them sounded to me like he was running away from the meaning of black, saying something, and I'm paraphrasing like, oh, that means that which is of the black, or that which is, you know, something strange, sounding strange to me. But we have the artifacts. There was a pseudo killer member. I forgot his username, but I made a video about him. He said the ancient Egyptians did not call themselves black. Now, you do have James P. Allen's book, right? If I'm not mistaken, it's called, is it called Middle Egyptian? It's a long title. I've shown it many times. I think it's on page 5, where he shows Henenit Kem. He translates it as Henenit the Black. He is an Egyptologist. He is a PhD, right? There was another book by a scholar called Black Man. He's not black, but that's his last name. That's his government name. That's his family name, right? And there are several people who have Kem in their names. When he translates it, he uses the word black, right? So that pseudo killer dude is pseudo, he's wrong, and I'm trying to tell him nicely, right? That being said, it sounds like Garfield Reed and apparently even Bobby Banger are denying that the ancient Egyptians were black. Over the years, I have shown plenty of artifacts, and we can clearly see their skin color, their skin tone. So it seems like the main problem, or the root of the problem, is bad eyesight. It seems that people need they need glasses. It seems to me that the root of the problem is bad vision. But anyway, I'm going to share a link and then we can call it a day. Where's the chat? Now, one of the reasons why the Seshew had some influence, it was because they had a moderator who was on the HOK platform. And because it's a large platform that welcomes the worst people on the planet Earth, the rapists, the child molesters, the scammers. Now, mind you, you have Ali Mohammed, who showed a fake PhD, a fake doctorate degree. That's one. Scam Cheddar, Filthy Frankie, said publicly that Chris MVP Harris lied about having a master's degree. That's two. Then we have the same guy who runs that platform, who also said that Garfield Reed lied about his credential, about his bachelor's degree in history. That's three people that were on that platform, right? And their credentials have been put in question. But he had no problem having those people on, right? So besides the scamming, the scammers, right? Even Reggie said that he knew about Polite scamming after Polite was sentenced, right? So their moderator is known for censorship. She was even blocked not long ago That's one of the main reasons why they had so much play. Anyway. I guess I will never cease to be amazed. The root of the problem. We have the artifacts. Now, you've heard about Chief X as well. Chief X is known for claiming that the ancient Egyptians were not black. Chief X ran from me. He's on tape agreeing to have a dialogue with me on my panel. On tape. He did not show up. He bounced. In the video, Black Ancient Egyptians, I think it may be part 2. He was in the chat and he said, I'm leaving. He said something like too much cherry picking. He could not stand the artifacts. He could not stand the artifacts. Till this day, there are many people who are unaware. They're never seen those artifacts showing Black ancient Egyptians. So I'm curious. Today, is it the 16th? May 16, 2024. Now, Chief X is a lost cause. Garfield Reed. Andrew is in a place to be. Does Garfield Reed believe that the ancient Egyptians were not black? Does Unc Bobby Banger believe that the ancient Egyptians are not black? There is a Egyptologist, somebody who has a PhD, a doctorate degree in Egyptology, who ran from me very recently. This year, he ran from me. He came up with a video and he spoke sideways about Dr. Sheikh Antadia. See, I didn't do that just because Osam Hotep spoke negatively about Diop. That PhD spoke negatively about Diop publicly. I addressed him. He tried to intimidate me, right? Talking about legal actions against me, right? I told him the intimidation doesn't work, but we can dialogue. He never showed up. He ran. And like I said, now there are French speakers, but there's one lady who has like 150,000 subscribers. There's another guy who has, I think, 2 million subscribers, right? I've let them know. I contacted them, gave them the link, showed them Black ancient Egyptians. They're out of the picture. So there is on one hand, the quote unquote debate about the term Kemet, about the terms Kemetiyu, Kemu, Kemiyu, all these terms deriving from the root Kem, but there are the artifacts as well. Be better is in the place to be. How you doing, brother? Oh, I don't hear you. Are you on mute, brother? Can you hear brother Vivi? Oh yeah, I hear you now, brother.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, brother.
Okay. Yeah, what's going on, Shaka? Everything good?
Yeah, I'm chilling, brother. Yeah, just want to address that because I don't know if you heard how much you heard, but he said the root of the problem is scholars, saying that Kemet means the black land. That's the root of the problem.
I mean, it sounded to me like, that's the most ridiculous statement of all, and you would be thinking they would try to work their way in the other direction, but that's like doubling down on the foolishness, man. It's just, you can't blame Black historians, Black archaeologists, anthropologists, Egyptologists, whatever you want to call them. You can't blame Black folk for racism. And the reality is just that folks don't like it being called the Black land because of racism. Anything that's supposed to be black and good, is a no-no when it comes to racism. You see what I mean? And it just so happens that Kemet, they didn't have that issue at that time. You know, there wasn't a concept at that time. They had a concept of color. They had a concept of pride. They saw the differences in how people looked. They had names for these things, you know, but they just saw it as a prideful thing. They didn't see it as a negative thing. And now today they're trying to separate it from being used at all, you know, in reference to the Kemites, the Egyptians, or, you know, the Nile Valley people. They're trying to say they didn't have a concept of color, you know.
But you know, brother, for the record, the Egyptologists, the people who have PhDs or doctorate degree in Egyptology, the majority of them, or let's say a fair bit of them, but I'm comfortable saying the majority of them, they do use the word black when they translate Kemet. So the majority of them indeed translated, you know, the black land, right?
Yeah, and no issue with it, you know, and no issue with it, you know, and it's been demonstrated.
Of course, the majority of Egyptologists, they don't say that the ancient Egyptians were black. No, that's we know that, you know, the consensus, you know, of Egyptology don't say that, but we have the artifacts. We do have the artifacts, you know. So,
and I mean, and the thing about it is that it has been demonstrated well that it means black, and also the black people, and also the, you know, I mean, every question that they've asked has been answered and demonstrated, you know, and proven that it means black and black people too. Just like today, it's no different from today. You know, everybody knows we're all humanoids, different color humanoids, different humanoids with different facial features, different hair types. Everybody knows that today. Everybody knew that back then. You see what I mean? It's not even ancient. You know, people think that because it was 2,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago, that's ancient. No, that's pretty much the end of ancient, the last period of ancient. You know, you can't call something ancient unless you can get older than that. But it's not that old. You see what I mean? When they're using these terms. So that means the reality on Earth is pretty much very similar. You know, it could be different in a lot of ways, but things don't change, you know, that rapidly, man. So people have social dynamics going on. People have a need to identify things. They have a need for short terms. They have a need to point out the obvious. You see what I mean? And that's where these terms come from, you know, just like they've always been used in the history of man when we assign names to things, you know. So I think you guys did great demonstrating Kemet means black, or the black land, you know, or black people. I think Smash did good also, man. Even though y'all don't, I understand exactly why you don't really not on good terms at the moment. But in terms of just keeping it to the arguments, you know, I think people demonstrated that, and I don't know why Wujawu and Asar just can't get down with that. You see what I mean? It seems like they being extremely stubborn and not even scholarly like, man. I think it's just too much now. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't understand it myself, man. We need to be proud that there is something left like that for people to grab onto and say, yeah, guess what the irony is? People spent years trying to demonize blackness, black people, black civilization, black societies, black everything, and then all of a sudden they find out that the root of their civilization is black. I mean, people just got to accept it. That's what it is, you know. What they demonized is what they come from. What they demonized is where they got the ideas from, you know, where they borrowed things from, the same thing. So you can't have that kind of crack in the mirror, you know, and identity. You got to get down with it. You got to understand it and just let it go. It's not a negative thing, you know. So that's how I see it, man. But good work, Shaka, man. Glad to see you back, man. Yeah, because you were saying you wasn't going to do no streaming for a minute. You got things to do. You know what I'm saying? I know.
Yeah, but you know, once again, I decided to go live so I can share the links in the chat. You know, I don't know. I see how it goes, but you know, I really want to do some reading because it's just strange. Like, you know, this what I played the things that I'm hearing, I mean, damn, I mean, all the scholars are wrong, but those two guys are right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, but
Exactly.
and that's the guy who talked about the conscious community, like being some circus and stuff like that. Like come on, like you on tape. And once again, Osam Hotep said that Diop was irresponsible as a scholar. Brother,
Oh,
I'm
thank
gonna end
you.
it there because
Thank you
I
for
don't want
bringing
to
that
repeat
up.
myself too
No,
much.
no. Did he demonstrate his statements? He said that Diop, when all these other scholars was on this, Kemet means black thing, that's what motivated Diop. Did he ever hear Diop say that? Does he even realize what he's saying when he's saying that? You see what I mean? Like, I mean, it's ridiculous that he would say a professor jumped on that bandwagon just because he heard somebody else saying it. And he's talking about an African professor, a person who comes from the same region that he's talking about. It's this man's, the logic is deafening, bro. It's crazy, man. It's hard to reply to that type of stubbornness. It's hard to, man. And for these brothers to be so knowledgeable about so much, to not get that, it's only stubbornness, man, and ego, bro. It's been demonstrated they're incorrect. Basically, it's up to them what they want to do with it. But you're doing a good job, and I'm glad to see Sheffrin also pop up. Yo, man, I mean, the conversation must continue. So the conversation is bigger. No man is bigger than the conversation. The conversation's more important than any person. You know what I mean? So I'm glad to see the conversation continuing. Yeah. That's all I wanted to say, Shaka. Keep it up, bro.
Yeah, thanks, brother Vibelet. All right, thank you. I see Sister Andrea in the chat, also JTV. I've seen Marcus as well. And yes, go ahead, brother.
I have to tell everybody, if you want to get some gear like Shaka got on, like that cap, go to the link that he's going to drop.
It's in the description. It's in the description. You have the link in the description. All right. So let me make my closing remarks. Stay safe, stay healthy. If I'm allowed to by the Netcher, I will definitely holler back at you. I don't argue, I state facts. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. If you do not think right, you will not act right. If you know better, you will do better. Do I to do an Netcher Hotep. Now, for the record, for those who don't know, I'm giving Medew Netcher classes. And here, that's the flyer. Okay, so those who are interested, feel free to holler at me. If you're not interested, it's cool. But I recommend that everybody who has not yet seen the video Kemet and Ma'at before Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, then watch it. It has about 300,000 views and really deserves to have a lot more.
I just want to let everyone know who's listening in now and who's going to listen to this stream in the future. I just had my first Netcher class by Brother Shaka today, and I've had other Netcher lessons by other teachers, and I can tell you right now, the brother is the best in the game. He is that was one of the best classes I've ever had. So if you're interested in learning the Netcher, if you're interested in getting the basics of it, Brother Shaka is an awesome teacher. Get with him, and it's extremely affordable. This brother is giving us his time and his skills, and he's basically giving it away. I mean, I just consider it a donation. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody is interested in learning the Netcher, get with this brother right here. He's an awesome teacher. And I'll end with that.
Hotep Senu, Hena Senut. This is Julie, also known as Servant of Yah, and I'm currently taking the Medew Netcher classes with Brother Shaka, and it has been an amazing experience. Only 2 lessons so far, and I feel like I've been taking the classes for months, just with the how in depth he goes into the vocabulary words, the construction of the language, the grammar. It's been immeasurable, the experience. And one thing that comes across, hands down, is his extreme passion for teaching this to anyone who is willing to learn and has an interest in learning. So I highly suggest, if you are interested, even a minimal interest, that you subscribe to the classes with Brother Shaka. It's such a nominal amount for how much you get. I know, like, our last class was over 2.5 hours. It felt like 2 minutes, but because that's how, involved you are in what he's teaching and how he teaches and how compassionate he is about what he teaches. Also with sharing materials free of charge, no question, no doubt. It's just what he does. He doesn't have to, but he does. And so I just wanted to give a short testimonial about the class and the effectiveness of the class. And all of that is attested to how studied Brother Shaka is. So I highly recommend anyone with a minimal interest that you do sign up for the Medew Netcher class. Hotep.
Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, which is Ma'at Forever. Don't forget to watch the video entitled Kemet and Ma'at. Don't forget to share Kemet and Ma'at on my channel on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, or other social media that you use. Email, text messages, you name it. Those who wish to donate can do so on paypal.me/ma'atforever.